You ever come home from work and find a brand new fence halfway across your yard? Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me last summer. I've been living in that house for 5 peaceful years, mowed my lawn every Sunday, trimmed the hedges, waved to the mailman, the definition of suburban normal, until Greg moved in next door. Greg was one of those guys who thought property lines were suggestions. Within a week of moving in, he'd already complained about my tree casting shade on his solar panels and my grass looking too green. I didn't even know that was a thing you could complain about. One Friday afternoon, I pull into my driveway and freeze. There's Greg, shirtless, sweating, hammering posts straight across my lawn. A brand new wooden fence on my side. I walk up, calm but boiling inside. "Hey Greg, what are you doing?" He wipes his forehead. "Oh, just putting up a proper boundary. Your old one was off by at least 3 feet." I blink. 3 feet. Based on what? He waves vaguely toward his phone. An app. An app. Not the county survey, not the deeds, an app. I told him, "Greg, that's my property. You can't just move a fence because you feel like it." He smirked. "Well, until you can prove it, the fence stays." Oh, Greg, you shouldn't have said that. That night, I pulled out my file drawer, found the original property map from the city, and called the local zoning office first thing Monday. They confirmed it. Greg's new fence was 2.8 feet into my yard. I could have gone legal right then, but honestly, lawsuits are slow. Karma's faster. So I started small. I hung bird feeders along my side of the new fence. By the third day, Greg's pristine yard was covered in pigeon poop. Then I started mowing, right up to his fence line every other day, revving the mower at 7 a.m. sharp. But he still bragged to everyone on the street about his perfect new boundary. So I decided to give that fence some personality. One evening, I ordered 6 motion-activated garden lights, the kind that flash bright white when someone walks by. I aimed them directly into his windows. Every time he opened his curtains, it looked like a UFO landing. After a week, he stomped over. "You need to turn those off." I smiled. "Oh, I would, but they're on my property. Remember your app?" He cursed, stormed off, and the next morning, I noticed the lights had mysteriously fallen over. All right, game on. The next phase of my operation was pure poetic justice. I went to the city office, requested an official property inspection, and let the professionals handle the rest. 3 days later, the city truck rolled up. Greg watched from his porch, confused. The surveyor walked the property, double-checked everything, and finally looked at Greg. "Sir, this fence is not only misplaced, it's in violation of setback regulations." Greg's face turned the color of expired milk. "How far off are we talking?" he asked. The surveyor said, 2.8 feet into your neighbor's yard. You'll need to move it or face fines." I swear, I almost felt bad. Almost. He spent the entire weekend tearing it down. By Sunday night, the once proud Greg wall was a pile of lumber stacked neatly on his driveway. But karma wasn't finished yet. A few weeks later, during a heavy rain, Greg's yard flooded. Turns out, when he'd built the fence, he'd blocked part of the drainage ditch that ran between our lots. With the fence gone, the water had nowhere to go but straight into his basement. He tried to blame me, but the city's report, the one he forced me to order, proved it was his fault. Now every time I see him, he avoids eye contact. His once perfect lawn is patchy, the basement pump runs nonstop, and his app hasn't helped him since. Sometimes revenge doesn't require shouting or lawsuits, just patience, paperwork, and a really bright set of garden lights. If you've ever had a neighbor like this, you know how it feels. The slow burn of irritation, the fake smiles, the quiet planning. But when karma finally lands, it's glorious. If you love stories like this, real-life revenge, neighbor drama, poetic justice, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Because here on Echoes of Betrayal, we bring you real and inspired tales where everyday people get the justice they deserve. Drop a comment. What would you have done if your neighbor tried to steal your yard? Would you go full legal or let karma do the heavy lifting? And if you're new here, welcome to the best corner of Storytime YouTube, where betrayal meets satisfaction. We post new revenge stories every week, family feuds, workplace drama, friendship betrayals, and yes, neighborhood nonsense like this. So stick around, because next time, it's not a fence war, it's a lawnmower rivalry. And trust me, you won't want to miss how that one ends. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and remember, you can't fight stupidity with anger, but you can outsmart it with style.